Ladies and gentlemen, Black Panther Tier 4 is coming with a brand new look inspired by a brand new comic that just released this year for Black Panther, resetting him as more of a dark knight, a silent guardian, a watchful protector, Batman, if you will. This is very, very cool. It looks amazing, and I'm also very excited for them to get one final crack at Black Panther, which will be the focus of this video later on. But for the time being, let's go check out what the sneak peek is, and then let's also talk about where it takes its inspiration from, because it's basically a one-for-one from the comics, which is very cool if you keep up with the comics, and in particular if you keep up with the reset from Black Panther, since the last series, I believe, ended in 2021. So it's been over a year for Black Panther not having too much going on for him in a solo series, but he's finally back. So let's check this out here. The superhero who was once a king protects the shadowy streets of cities around the world even when he has become an outcast of the nation he once ruled. The eternal guardian of Wakanda. Yeah! Check out the new looks and abilities of the tireless hero and king. So this is very exciting. This means there's one more sneak peek, so we could be getting, there's a lot to speculate here, but we could be getting, you know, tier 3 Nick Fury. We could be getting a tier 3 or some sort of upgrade for someone adjacent to Black Panther, like Killmonger or M'Baku, maybe both. That would be quite nice, to be honest. Nick Fury is only because of Secret Invasion, of course, but that is something that they could be dropping on us as well, although it's not really related to Black Panther. They could also be giving Omega Red a tier 3. There's a lot of things they could be doing with the rest of this update. It's only going to probably be one other character, so I wouldn't get my hopes up for like a massive mid-month update. But Black Panther, at the very least, is a very good way to start, because he's an iconic character and he hasn't been good for so long that it really begs, the question of whether they're going to make him good or not. Now, as far as the sneak peek itself goes, you guys have already seen it in the small version over on Twitter, but this is the large version. So we're overlooking a city that looks to be in distress with a lot of police cars. And then we see behind the back, over the shoulder sort of vibes. It pans around to Black Panther's face, and he is basically doing his best gargoyles / Batman impression, kneeling at the roof of a building, getting ready to strike. This has obviously this has massive Batman vibes, absolutely massive Batman vibes. And basically the only difference between Black Panther, well, one of the only differences between Black Panther and Batman is that Black Panther's identity is known and he's a king of a city. Batman's sort of like the unofficial king of Gotham, or they call Bruce Wayne the Prince of Gotham, of course. But yeah, in the shadows, lurking, waiting for enemies, has pointy ears on his helmet, has a cape, has white glowing eyes, has advanced tech. You know, yeah, it's very, 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 very similar. Basically, like if you disassemble Batman, you can make up most of Iron Man's personality and sort of character, and most of Black Panther's. Not 100%, but most of both of them. But yeah, so that is the sneak peek here. You can see very clearly in the beginning, if you missed it, T4 right there in the lights of the first buildings in front of you. So you got the T here, and you've got the 4 here. Very, very nice. Again, shout out to the sneak peek team. This is beautifully rendered. This looks gorgeous, and I particular focus here on the music. It's so subtle, but you could definitely Mandela effect some people and convince them after the fact, or Streisand effect, or whatever it is, that this music was in The Dark Knight or in one of the Nolan Batman movies, because it suits the mood so well with some of the sort of pieces that Hans Zimmer would put together to sort of set the mood before a big battle. And it's just fantastic. It's just fantastic. Now, as far as what Black Panther looks like, we get a pretty clear shot of him here, right there, boom. That is essentially a one-for-one with the comic look. So this is very exciting for comic book fans. I guess, like I said, doubly so for Black Panther fans. You'll see that he has it's pretty obvious he has a cape, although it's a bit, you know, beaten up. He's got these red straps on his chest and his leg that are like holding, you know, weapons and gadgets and things like that. He has additional claws, sort of like, you know, extra claws, like brass knuckles sort of equipped on each hand. And then he's got what appears to be, it's like either a giant shoulder pauldron on one side or a shield. Now, I say it's a shield because I know it's a shield. But let's go check it out from just a simple Google search. If you just Google search Black Panther 2023 comic, or if you search Eve Ewing, Chris Allen Black Panther, you will get you know, articles like this talking about the new comic taking over. And as you can see here are some of the covers. It's pretty much exactly what we got. We got the cape, we got the claws, we got the straps, and we got the massive bast shield. The shield looks awesome. It adds just the right splash of color to an otherwise very muted, very stealthy suit. I like the stuff on his face, the sort of like the paint, the war paint. We don't seem to be getting... Oh, actually, there is war paint. Holy shit. Now that I see it here and I go back and look, you can definitely see at least 2 dots above his eye. It's kind of hard to see. You may have to like zoom in on your phone or whatever, but I feel like the dots are definitely there. It doesn't zoom in enough on his face for you to see, and it's not perceptible from this angle because I guess the shadows or something. I don't know, but yeah, I feel like it's definitely there. I'm not coping. It's definitely there. I'm not coping. It's definitely there. Here's another look at the costume. Very cool. This is like an alt art, but yeah, it's a 1-for-1. So this is really cool. I commend the devs and the art team for being able to pull this look off so faithfully from what the comics is showing us. Here's a blown up version of that one we saw from this article. And for those of you wondering what is going on with this comic, because you see these different panels here of like people, you know, walking around doing their daily lives, but then you see one panel of Black Panther himself with the Avengers. You see some sort of like Aurora situation here. You see Wakanda on the other side here. Basically, from what I understand, at the end of either the 2021 comic or to establish in the new 2023 comic, Black Panther has been ousted as the king of Wakanda. So he's no longer king. I don't know who's king. But it basically says here, Wakanda no longer has its king, but it still has its protector. So now T'Challa's finding a new purpose in Wakanda as the Black Panther, sporting an edgier, stealthier look. He finds himself lurking in the shadows of Birnin T'Chaka, protecting its people from harm's clutches. It sounds literally like a 1-for-1 with Batman, but it's all good. It's all good. In this first look, T'Challa observes the bustling city of Birnin T'Chaka from above, hiding in the darkness. Donning a new costume, the Black Panther scans the city from the rooftops looking for trouble, literally. Then he breaks into a high-speed chase throughout the streets of Birnin T'Chaka. In the last 2 pages, a new foe emerges. Yeah, I was going to make a Joker reference, but no. Yeah, so this is basically, and I guess that's one of the other issue covers. And yeah, just talking to, I guess this is just world building of the new city that he's in, sort of like a cyberpunk. It's kind of got a bit of cyberpunk, steampunk vibes going on. But yeah, pretty cool. I guess that's what that is, and that's what one of these is. I don't know. But yeah, pretty cool here. This is just like a design thing. You can see the shield in much clearer detail. Very nice, I gotta say. They hit it out the park with this one. So, stressing how nice this looks, we now come to the very serious conversation around Black Panther's value in the game. So let's talk about it, because this is going to be basically what makes or breaks this update, in my opinion. Like, sure, we could get Nick Fury tier 3, we could get M'Baku, we could get Omega Red, but none of those are nearly as important as Black Panther. And that is especially true not only because Black Panther is a more popular character than those characters, but also because of how bad Black Panther has been for essentially his entire existence in Marvel Future Fight. Black Panther, just to give you guys a rundown, has never been good. Never. He's never been good. Just never. He wasn't good here. He wasn't good. He was barely good. I'll tell you what, he was barely good here when he got his original movie uniform. But the problem was that very soon after that, I believe this was March 2018. Very soon after, we got tier 3s added to the game. So he was basically like the last tier 2 to get his movie, whatever. And then we got tier 3s, and Captain America just blew Black Panther out of the water. Since then, Black Panther's gotten very little, just in the way of one $30.99 uniform. And unlike Doctor Doom, this $30.99 uniform didn't move the needle at all. It was really an embarrassment. This was pretty much the breaking point for a lot of Black Panther fans, where they just abandoned all hope for him. And it was pretty depressing for me. This was back in 2021. So right around the time where his last comic was wrapping up, they decided to give him this uniform, and it was just a stinker. Just not giving him enough damage to be anything near competitive, and not giving him enough defenses either. Doesn't have enough healing. There's just so much wrong with this uniform. Like literally, you could just go top to bottom. He actually doesn't have any healing. It was actually insane that they released a uniform in 2021 that had no healing. Like it was bonkers, right? It was really, really sad. So that was 2 years ago, a little bit more than 2 years ago. So this is basically their third chance. This is their third opportunity. So they didn't make Black Panther good when he was released. They didn't make him good here, and they didn't make him good here. This is their fourth chance. And in my opinion, this is their last chance. This is their last chance to make Black Panther good, because it's a look based on a reset comic. So it's sort of like resetting, you know, things for Black Panther. It's also probably one of the last times he's going to get a uniform, because he's also getting a tier 4. Like there's just a lot here that's kind of like, this is the final upgrade, right? For a lot of tier 4s, we feel like their uniforms are their final upgrades, at least for quite a while, like a few years. And I just don't want to speculate that far in advance for a character that's already been shafted for 5 years. You know, like, I mean, he's been in the game. I'm pretty sure Black Panther was in the game when the game came out. So he's been in the game for more than 8 years. But he started getting upgrades, of course. Well, besides this shit, because this shit doesn't count. He started getting like legitimate upgrades in 2018. That's 5 years ago, dog. That's 5 years ago, and it was never good. So I'm a little bit worried, but I'm just really begging the devs, pleading with them to not fuck this up. Black Panther needs to be meta, just unequivocally meta. Like, just there should be no doubt in anyone's mind that Black Panther is the #1 combat hero for something, right? It's probably not going to be PvP because of Wolverine. So they probably want, like, they don't want them to compete with each other, right? So they're probably going to make him the best combat male hero for PvE. And that's fine, because if you take a look, right, at the combat heroes we have a lot of them now. Like, we have a lot of them. But the ones that are very relevant for PvE content, i.e. Moon Knight, they're old, right? Moon Knight's already been tier 4'd for a year. Venom is coming up on a year. Cap is really the only recent one. Yeah, we got Dr. Octopus recently, but he's a villain, so that doesn't really count. I mean, it counts, but not as much. And we have, of course, Namor from last year, Carnage from last year, Hulk from last year. So I really hope they don't screw this one up. Black Panther should be replacing Moon Knight for ABX, ABL meta as a combat hero. And again, that's assuming he's going to be meta for PvE. They could make him meta for PvP, I guess. He doesn't have an artifact yet, so they could give him an immortality artifact or something like that. They could give him a revive. But I actually hope they make him good for PvE. I'm kind of tired of playing with the existing PvE meta we have for combats, and I'm hoping that Black Panther really pushes the envelope and is the dawn of a new day for the combat class. But yeah, that's gonna be the video. Hit me up with your comments and speculation on what's going down. And yeah, pray for Black Panther, because he needs absolutely all the love here. They can't screw this up, right? They can't screw this up, right? Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.